Kristi Noem is out here collecting scalps on behalf of the people and the Trump administration. What scalp did she, what scalp did she collect today? Harvard's scalp. In case you hadn't heard, the Department of Homeland Security, led by the gorgeous Kristi Noem, Wood, by the way, she, DHS revoked Harvard's certification to take foreign exchange students. And, there's other stuff coming out about how Trump is trying to, the Trump administration is trying to take on, rampant fucking communist leftism and a bunch of foreigners acting like assholes. Come here, at our discretion, out of the kindness of our heart, to let you be educated in our schools, and then you come here and act like assholes. You treat actual natural-born American citizens like crap. And, yeah, we're not going to put up with it anymore. So yeah, now because Harvard supports this shit, because Harvard allows this shit to go on and, doesn't do anything to try to prevent it, they get their certification to take in foreign exchange students revoked. So yeah, we're just going to read the letter that Kristi Noem sent to Harvard, and Harvard could suck a fat one. Harvard Student and Exchange Visitor Program decertification. I am writing to inform you that effective immediately, Harvard University Student and Exchange Visitor Program certification is revoked. As I explained to you in my April letter, it is a privilege to enroll foreign students. Meh, but I get what she means. And it is also a privilege to employ aliens on campus. I love that she called them aliens. All universities must comply with Department of Homeland Security requirements, including reporting requirements under the Student and Exchange Visitor Program regulations to maintain this privilege. As a result of your refusal to comply with... Now, again, the official reason why this is being taken, it's part of a broader thing to essentially punish Harvard for being a shitty school full of leftist indoctrination. Is because they also just didn't do what they were supposed to do. They're supposed to provide a bunch of information about their foreign students, and they refused to do so because Harvard sucks. So, they FAFO'd, essentially. As a result of your refusal to comply with multiple requests to provide the Department of Homeland Security pertinent information while perpetuating an unsafe campus environment that is hostile to Jewish students, promotes pro-Hamas sympathies, and employs racist diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, you have lost this privilege. So yeah, obviously they do DEI shit. This also comes as a result of this happened on more than just Harvard, but the most famous example of this happened in Harvard. But the situation where the pro-Hamas students were doing a protest. Now, that in and of itself is fine. Protesting in the United States is fine. I'm not against that. If you want to stand on the quad and chant stupid slogans and hold up signs, that's one thing. But that's not what the pro-Hamas crowd was doing. They were taking over buildings. They were blocking entrances to buildings so that students, not just Jewish students, students period, couldn't get into certain classes. They were disrupting classes. They were assaulting Jewish students. They made it abundantly clear that they were not here to just have a peaceful protest. They were being disruptive and violent. So, and then Harvard did nothing to stop it. They just kind of let it happen because that's what these leftist indoctrination camps do to these kids. They let them act like brats, and then they don't do anything to check them. The revocation of your student and exchange visitor program certification means that Harvard is prohibited from having any aliens on F or J non-immigrant status for the 2025-2026 academic school year. This decertification also means that existing aliens on F or J non-immigrant status must transfer to another university in order to maintain their non-immigrant status. So yeah, if you want to stay in the country and continue learning, you need to leave Harvard or you need to get the fuck out. Preferably number 2. You should probably just get the fuck out, go get educated at a school in your own country. Don't come here with the express intention of, I'm just going to come here to go to your school, then I'm going home. No, just don't come. Do not come. Do not come. If my mic is picking up anything, I got the cleaning lady upstairs. Thank you, Mom. Uh, my mom is not my cleaning lady, but she is visiting, and she couldn't help herself. She decided to vacuum. I do not live like Asmongold, like vacuum my own carpet, but, you know, it is what it is. This action should not surprise you and is the unfortunate result of Harvard's failure to comply with simple reporting requirements. On April 16th, 2025, I requested records pertaining to non-immigrant students enrolled at Harvard University, including information regarding misconduct and other offenses that would render foreign students inadmissible or removable. On April 30th, 2025, Harvard's counsel provided information that he represented as responsive to my request. It was not. So they're not just not giving it, they're also sending bullshit claiming that this is what they wanted to waste DHS's time. All in order to protect a bunch of fucking terrorist sympathizing foreigners. So, you know. As a courtesy that Harvard was not legally entitled to, the acting DHS General Counsel responded on my behalf and afforded Harvard another opportunity to comply. Harvard again provided an insufficient response. Consequences must follow to send a clear signal to Harvard and all other universities that want to enjoy the privilege of enrolling foreign students that the Trump administration will enforce the law and root out the evils of anti-Americanism and anti-Semitism in society and campuses. I mean, I think they're leaning a bit too heavily into the whole anti-Semitic thing. Like, I get it. The Jewish students were targeted during these protests. Like, I understand. And Jewish students are still being harassed on Harvard campus and in other places. But, like, stop leaning into lean into the anti-Americanism, but don't, read the room. You know what I mean? Even, pro-Israel people like myself, I don't like to call myself a Zionist. The term is too loaded. That's because I'm reading the room. So just read the room a little bit. You can specifically say, targeting Jewish students, making it unsafe for Jewish students. Just don't throw around the anti-Semitism word so much. It's just bad optics at this point. Here's page 2. If Harvard would like the opportunity of regaining student and exchange visitor program certification before the upcoming academic school year, you must provide all the information requested below within 72 hours. As of today, it is the 23rd, so they have 48 more hours to comply. Well, less than 48 more hours to comply, because it's, this was sent on the 22nd. It is now the afternoon of the 23rd. So, please be advised that providing materially false, fictitious, or fraudulent information may subject you to criminal prosecution under 18 U.S.C. 1001. Other criminal and civil sanctions may also apply. I expect full and complete responses to the following requests. Let's see what Milady Noem, what she wants. 1. Any and all records, whether official or informal, in the possession of Harvard University, including electronic records and audio or video footage regarding all illegal activity, whether on or off campus by a non-immigrant student enrolled in Harvard University in the last 5 years. So, if Harvard currently has any proof that a non-citizen student, that an immigrant student, or a non-immigrant, a foreign student who's here to learn, participated in any illegal activity, such as trespassing, assault, disruption, disorderly conduct, any of these things, she expects it to be turned over. 2. Any and all records, whether official or informal, in the possession of Harvard University, including electronic records or an audio or video footage regarding dangerous and or violent activity, whether on or off campus by a non-immigrant student enrolled at Harvard University in the last 5 years. 3. Any and all records, whether official or informal, in the possession of Harvard University, including electronic recorded and audio or video footage regarding threats to other students or university personnel, whether on or off campus, by non-immigrant students. So yeah, they want all the shit from the protests. 4. Any and all records, whether official or informal, in the possession of Harvard University, including electronic records and audio video footage regarding deprivation of rights of other classmates or university personnel, whether on or off campus, by non-immigrant students enrolled at Harvard in the last 5 years. So when they were taking over buildings and refusing to let people go to class and blocking doorways and all these things. 5, any and all disciplinary records of all non-immigrant students enrolled in Harvard University in the last 5 years. Joke's on you. They never keep the records because the non-Americans, the foreigner students, they're good as boys, never do nothing. Didn't do nothing ever. 6, any and all audio or video footage in the possession of Harvard University of any protest activity involving a non-immigrant student on a Harvard University campus in the last 5 years. Now, protesting in and of itself is not wrong. I don't have a problem with people demonstrating, even foreigners necessarily. But you got to understand, while I personally don't necessarily have a problem with it, when people with non-immigrant status, meaning they're here just temporarily, they don't intend to immigrate, they're just here for temporary work or to go to school. Generally, part of the agreement that they make, and like Tim Pool covered this in his debate with Adam Conover, which made me want to rip my fucking hair out, by the way, because I really don't particularly. I mean, I don't particularly care for Tim Pool. I hate Adam Conover. So it's like watching someone you kind of mildly annoyed by talk to somebody you absolutely hate. So yeah, no, I didn't enjoy myself, but I watched it for posterity. And but he covered this, that part of the agreement that the foreigner makes with the country when they come in is that they won't agitate, they won't engage in protest and all these things. So yeah, and this is consistent with something that I've said. I'm sorry, but the First Amendment protections don't apply to non-citizens. Due process doesn't apply to non-citizens. That's why I don't give a shit about like dudes getting like foreigners, illegal foreigners in this particular case, getting deported without due process because they're not American citizens. They don't get due process. At least I don't think they're entitled to it. American citizens and legal permanent residents are the only people, in my opinion, who are entitled to American due process. Sorry, but if you're just here to use up American education and then bounce, then yeah, no. And like I said, I don't even have a problem with foreigners who aren't citizens engaging in peaceful protest personally. But you signed an agreement with the U.S., with the United States government when you came in here on your temporary status, and if you violate that, well, you violated the terms of the contract, so you can get the fuck out. Pretty simple stuff. Sincerely, Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security. So yeah, I think this letter was, I think it's a good first step. I think Harvard, all of higher education in general, but Harvard specifically, has, run roughshod for too long. They're allowed to do whatever the hell they want. They're heavily subsidized by the taxpayer. For them to be private universities, they get a shitload of government grants, government money. They let the students act like assholes. They let foreigners break the law, and they never do anything about it. And it's time for that shit to come to an end. So feel free to agree or disagree down in the comments. You know the drill at this point. Click the links and sub to all my alternate channels and sub to this channel too. And smash that like button. Smash it. Algorithm. Make like you're Kristi Noem and I'm Harvard and type me a strongly worded letter and throw it at me.